everyone, this is Erna again, and this is the second episode in a series of videos I'm going to record and share with you this month about how to get started, how to kick jump, how to sort of boost your health goals for 2019. Today is actually Saturday, and I'm recording this so I can upload it and have it for you ready for tomorrow, Sunday. Sunday is the 13th of January, 2019, and I want this ready for you like I want all of our videos ready for you on every Sunday. You guys have requested, at least on my Food for Soul Facebook page, a few top key topics, and I really appreciate all of you sharing those topics and what you want to see more of. And one of the things, and I think I'm going to change what I'm going to give you tonight. Tonight I was going to originally give you some 3 things I want you to consider as you start your journey. So not the actual what am I going to do this week, but things to consider. But I'm going to change that because you've asked for something specifically and I want to give you what you asked for. So a lot of people have asked about about meal prepping and about healthy choices. So I'm going to give you 3 tips for healthy nutrition choices that I want you to put into practice this week. Now, these steps that I'm going to give you, every time I give you these 3 parts or 3 lessons or 3 steps, I really want you to try and incorporate at least 1, if not all 3, for the rest of the week. So the first 3 things I'm going to tell you for 2019 for your health and for your nutrition. The first one is probably the most life-changing thing for me and how I eat. How I look at my food, and what I eat and how much of it that I eat, which is huge for me. One of my goals, like I've told you in other videos before, about 8 or 9 months ago, one of my goals was weight loss. I knew I needed to control kind of what I was doing, what I was eating, because I was gaining way too much weight. And we can talk in another video about why your weight is important to your health. But tonight I'm going to tell you one of the biggest things that changed the trajectory of my weight and my body and how it gained weight was meal prepping. Now, I know all of us have heard of this before, and I know you're like, oh, I prepare food. Sometimes I do. I eat leftovers all the time. Some of you actually hate leftovers. I've always loved leftovers. I don't know why. But meal prepping, here's why meal prepping is so key, I promise you, to any health goal that you have, whether it's weight loss, just getting more fit, taking out some bad stuff that you know you shouldn't be eating out of your diet, whatever it is, meal prepping is key. I cannot emphasize that enough. And here's why. If you plan your meals, for instance, if you plan your meals for the week, or if you don't want to do a whole week, that's fine. If you plan what you're going to eat for the next 1 or 2 days, that will make sure you eat more healthy. That'll save you money. And that will make sure that what you're putting in your body is what you want to put in your body. Those things are huge to your health. So what I like to do, I'm just going to tell you what works for me, once a week. And this is super important. Part of meal prep. And again, I'm going to do a whole video on just meal prepping. I love meal prepping. But one of the things you have to do for meal prepping is you have to schedule time, just a little bit of time. It doesn't take a lot of time, especially after you've done it a few times. Schedule a few minutes just once a week to plan when you're going to go shop for your food, plan what you're going to eat, even plan what containers you're going to put them in. So think ahead, plan ahead, just like we go on a trip or something important is coming on, we plan for it, right? Exactly the same thing. And if this is something you say is important for 2019, plan for it. So put aside a few minutes every week or every few days, plan what you're going to eat, plan when you're going to shop, plan where you're going to shop, and trust me, it will change your life. Meal prep is huge. And as a result, meal prep will save you money. One of the reasons why meal prep works so well is that you have the food with you when you're hungry. I can't tell you how many times, I'm sure this has happened to you, when you're running around, you're so busy, and you need to eat something. So you stop because you have very little time and you just don't want to think about it. You stop at whatever is convenient around you. And almost always that is not your healthiest choice. So meal prep is huge because you plan ahead, you plan your snacks. I'm going to show you a couple snacks that I just bought today that I'm going to try. You can either buy your snacks or make your snacks. They're super easy to do. And if you have them in the car with you, in a lunchbox with you by your desk, or if you're in school, in your locker, wherever, the minute you're hungry, the minute you have a few minutes, you grab your snack, you grab your container with your meal, you eat it, and you go. So it can be just as quick, if not quicker. So it can save you money and probably time if you have your meals and snacks with you. Meal prepping is huge, and you will see a huge difference in what you eat and how much you eat. And trust me, if weight loss, if that's what you're looking to gain, it will happen. So that's the first thing, meal prep. I can talk about meal prep for hours, but I'm not going to do that right now because I want to move on to step number 2. The second thing to be all around healthy, other than meal prep, and this is probably it, maybe just as important, is drinking water. We all know water is important. We all know we need water to live. We all know water is life, water is health. But most of us don't drink enough water. So I want you this week, if nothing else, again, I can do a whole video about how much water to drink, how to get yourself to create that new habit to drink enough water every single day. We can definitely do a 3-part video on just water. But I want you this week to get your favorite water bottle. All of us always have sports bottles, water bottles. I don't even care what it looks like. Get a gallon jar, whatever you like to walk around with. But it has to be something that you are willing, able, and know that you will keep with you all the time. At work, at school, wherever you are, it doesn't matter what kind of job you have. It needs to be something you can easily grab with you, stay next to you, in the car, in the grocery cart, wherever. Keep your water bottles with you at all times. It's almost like meal prep because, again, if it's in your sight, then you will most likely eat it, drink it, etc., and it will most likely be healthy. So water bottle with you all the time. And I can't leave this out. How do you know how much water to drink? An easy way, we've all heard drink 8 cups of water. And that's actually a great place to start. Go right ahead. And most of us do not drink 8 cups of water, and no sodas and juices and coffee do not apply to that. Maybe tea, especially if it's unsweetened, but this is just water. And I want you to think of an easy formula to figure out how much water I should drink in a day. Because not everybody's different. There are people that are bigger, have more muscle, have different things that make us different, so that I might need different amounts of water than you need. So a simple way, it's very easy. Take your weight in pounds and divide it into half, and that's the amount of water you should drink in ounces. So say you weigh 150 pounds, you should drink at least 75 ounces every day. So that's more than 8 cups of water, right? That's definitely more than 8 cups. So take your body weight in pounds, no matter what it is. If you weigh 200 pounds, you should be drinking 100 ounces of water. If you weigh 100 pounds, you should be drinking at least 50 pounds of water. And that's where you start. If you're working out a lot, if it's super hot and humid when you're seeing this video or wherever you live, then you should be drinking more than that minimum. But that's where you start, and that should be the minimum you achieve every day. Just start doing it, and it will become a habit. It's one of the best things you can do for your health, for your skin, for every single organ, every single cell in your body. Trust me, you will know the difference. And yes, you drink more water. Yes, you're going to go to the bathroom. We're not going to talk about that anymore, but that's just part of life. Get used to it. This is what you need to be healthy in 2019. So meal prepping, first thing, more water, more water, more water. The last thing is more vegetables. So the good Lord made lots of things that are healthy for us to eat. And probably the most important thing, the healthiest thing that we can eat are vegetables. I don't care what type of diet, what type of method of eating that you are following either right now or you have for many, many years, whatever it is. You could be vegan, you could be pescatarian, you could be, it doesn't matter. You could be a carnivore, it doesn't matter. You need to eat more vegetables. And one of the videos I am going to record for you this year, very, very soon, is a method of knowing how much of all of the different types of foods you should eat at every meal. It's just a nice, easy guide to show you, this is my plate for breakfast. This is my plate or bowl for lunch or a snack. For every time you eat, this is what it should look like. This is the amount of carbohydrates. This is the amount of protein. This is the amount of vegetables I should eat. It's called the plated method, and I'm going to talk to you about it on another video. But I really want you to eat more vegetables. You can eat vegetables for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, anytime. Throw in more vegetables. And the more raw vegetables you eat, the better. Here's a great tip to get in more vegetables. Smoothies. If you like smoothies of any kind, number one, start making it yourself. Super easy. I mean, all you need is a blender, a high-powered blender or any blender really, and you can make delicious smoothies. What kind of makes them really delicious is if you add something that makes them sweet, because most of us like sweet things. So add some fruit. A banana in a smoothie is probably all the sweetness you need, but then throw in almost any vegetable that's in your fridge. I'm telling you, from zucchini, any of the squashes, they do not need to be cooked. Any of the squashes, any of the leafy greens, from the lettuces to all the greens, you can throw in collards and spinach and kale. Just start throwing in a handful, 1 or 2 handfuls of 2 or 3 different cauliflower, broccoli, green beans. Just start experimenting on flavors. Cucumbers, bell peppers. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on, but any raw vegetable, cut them up and throw them in there and start experimenting, putting 1 or 2 at a time. Make sure you add some fruit, especially if you're not used to putting vegetables in your smoothies. Add some sweeter fruit like berries. A banana is actually, half a banana is probably plenty, but if you need more sweetness, add a whole banana. You can freeze your bananas. That really helps the smoothie get really thick and rich and creamy. So throw in a banana. You can use any kind of beverage as a base, from water to coconut water to any of your milk beverages that you normally eat, or that you normally drink. Juices, make sure there are no added sugars. But I almost always use plain water. If you like protein powders to add some protein, you can throw some protein powder in there. Make sure the amount of sugar, there's not a lot of sugar added. You can even add some of these healthy superfoods like chia seeds or flax seeds or hemp seeds. Throw those in there. You can throw in a spoonful or 2 at a time. All that does is really create some really rich superfood for your body. And you can get in so much more goodness into your body just by one smoothie. So add more vegetables. Here's one other tip about adding vegetables. Make sure your vegetables take up at least half of your meal. If it's a salad, if it's an entree, make sure the vegetables take up the majority of your plate. Of all the macro types of foods, and macro is just a way of saying the different categories of food, like a macro is a carbohydrate, a protein, and things like that. So make sure vegetables take up the biggest chunk of that serving or that meal for you, and use variety. Just try different things. If you have favorites, fine. Find different ways that you can cook them. There's roasting and steaming. Try not to boil out all of the nutrients from your vegetables. Just try, the things that take away as little as possible. So if you're not going to eat them raw, which is probably the best way to eat them, steaming them very briefly until they're just fork tender, almost al dente. You don't want them mushy at all. Sauteing them with just the tiniest bit of oil, very quickly. Roasting in the oven. That is probably my favorite way to cook almost any vegetable, is roasting them in the oven. Delicious with just some olive oil, salt, and pepper. Almost any vegetable you can do that with. So those are just, I can give you so many tips for getting more vegetables into your diet. So yet another video. I'm coming up with all sorts of content to give you guys. So those are my 3 really easy things that you can do this week, and I really want you to try, especially the water, because yes, the meal prepping takes a little bit more time and a little bit more intention, and I really think you should start thinking about it. But water, adding more, at least half of your body weight right now in water, ounces of water, start that today. Get a water bottle, borrow a water bottle, find a water bottle somewhere that you think is cute. I've started collecting a couple water bottles because it's nice. I'm taking it around with me all the time anyway. So start drinking more water and then start eating more vegetables, guys. When you go to the store, I almost always start or end in the produce section. I spend at least half of the time in the grocery store in the produce section. I love it so much. It's so pretty. It's so colorful. So really start picking up your veggies and then seriously think about meal prep. I want you guys to ask me questions about all 3 of these things. There's just 3 things that you can start doing right now to get your healthy eating habits on point. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you will subscribe, share, comment, ask questions, and put on your notifications button so that you can get the videos that I'm going to make for you coming up really soon. Thank you so much. Have a fabulous week in health and wellness. This is Erna. Bye-bye.